So, dear students, yesterday we studied about origin of life, okay, and the various hypothetical theories about the formation of or origin of life, okay. Further, we studied about chemical evolution of life, correct? That is self-assembly theory given by various theories we studied, and that is one of the most significant theory, that is self-assembly theory given by Oparin and Haldane. Okay, so Oparin and Haldane expressed their views about the chemical evolution. So this is nothing but the biotic factors came into existence only because of abiotic factors. So this is nothing but we can say about the chemical evolution. Okay. So first cell might have developed due to the synthesis of different biomolecules, and synthesis of different biomolecules is eventually due to the formation or the changing atmospheric factors leads to the formation of some of the organic and inorganic molecules. Okay, that means abiotic factors or atmospheric factors gave rise to simple organic compounds, then complex organic compounds, then there is the formation of protein, polysaccharides, that is complex organic molecules, and lastly there is the formation of probiont or procell. Okay, so up to this journey, many of the proteins, many of the polysaccharides, many of the probionts, many of the procells get formed. And before formation of procell, there is the formation of nucleic acid. Okay, so these are the steps involved in Oparin-Haldane theory. Again, this theory is hypothetic theory. That means there was no experimental proof suggested by Oparin and Haldane. But later on, after few years, Urey and Miller, okay, supposed to work on this Oparin-Haldane theory. So this is the experimental proof for the Oparin-Haldane theory. Okay, so Oparin-Haldane theory experimentally proved by Urey and Miller. So it is known as Urey-Miller's experiment. Okay, now at that time, as we have studied, due to ultraviolet rays, as ozone was absent there, as well as free oxygen was also absent. Okay, so due to ultraviolet radiations, due to lightning, as well as due to earthquake or volcanic activities, the temperature is maintained, energy is supplied to the various metabolic activities. Okay, and these activities brought about combination of different chemicals leading to formation of organic and inorganic compounds. Okay, so this is the experimental proof for Oparin-Haldane theory. Okay, so here they suggested one of the experiment where such a glass apparatus is situated, and this glass apparatus is known as spark discharge apparatus. Okay, so what they did, see, here they used electrodes, and they are with carbon sparks. They used 75,000 volts energy, okay, potential difference, for the formation of carbon spark. And in this spark discharge apparatus, see, this is a specialized apparatus, spark discharge apparatus, where the combination of gases is taken. So what are the gases? Methane, ammonia and hydrogen in 1:2:2 proportion. Okay, so the mixture of gases like methane, ammonia and hydrogen is taken in 1:2:2 proportion, and this mixture of gases is provided with electric discharge, okay, of 75,000 volts with the help of these electrodes. And this experiment was kept on observation for several days. They just tried to mimic the atmospheric conditions with the help of this spark discharge apparatus. So after several days, see what happened? All these gases undergone with the electric spark of high voltage. So here to this glass apparatus, condenser is attached. After several days, they observed that there is the formation of water droplets. Okay, that means all the gases get converted into liquid form due to condensation. Then there is water containing organic compounds, liquid water tap, here is the boiling point and vacuum pump. Okay. So after several days, after condensation, the sample was taken by them from this spark discharge apparatus, and that sample molecules were studied for the formation of whether they are with some of the components or not. Okay, so definitely that sample was with simple organic compounds like urea, amino acids, lactic acids, etc. Okay, that means the sample taken from this experiment was with urea, amino acids and lactic acids. So here by experimental proof, Urey-Miller supported Oparin-Haldane theory. Okay, that means by condensation of the gases, there is the formation of, yes, simple organic compounds. Okay, where we have studied the dilute soup concept. Okay, hot dilute soup or primitive broth. Okay, these were the terms used by Haldane. Okay, to support his theory. So like that here, with the help of such a gases, condensation and obtained liquid sample was tested. So there is definitely, see, there was definitely the formation of dilute soup or primitive broth. Okay, so here this is nothing but Urey-Miller experiment, experimental proof for the support of Oparin-Haldane theory. Next we are going to study about RNA world hypothesis. Okay, RNA world hypothesis. As the name is hypothesis, okay, so here we can say Oparin-Haldane theory and Urey-Miller experiment gives us an understanding that pathway of origin of life on earth goes from non-living to living. Okay, so like begets like necessitates presence of stable genetic material. Okay, here now we are coming to the point. See, what first we studied, life came into existence due to non-living materials. Okay, now we are going to the point of life begets life. Okay, life begets life. Means what? See, this is, see, life came into existence due to pre-existing life. Okay, so with the help of Oparin-Haldane, Urey-Miller, we studied about existence of life. Now this life is perpetuating to the another life. Okay, that means first we studied about existence of life. Now we are going to study about perpetuation of living organisms. As we know, what is essential for perpetuation of organisms? No doubt, genetic material. Now the conflict was there about whether first genetic material form was DNA or RNA. Okay, so here to suggest or to support the theory of RNA world hypothesis, some of the scientists like Altman and Thomas Cech showed that RNAs were acting as biocatalysts. Okay, that means instead of enzymes, RNA were used as biocatalysts. As we know, some of the scientists like Woos and Francis Crick, okay, they long before this discovery discovered the ribozymes. Okay, ribozymes, as you know, the enzymes which are present in ribosomes, and RNA is the genetic material which is associated with ribosomes. Okay, so this hypothesis suggests that early life must have been based exclusively on nucleic acids and most probably on RNA. Okay, so here RNA is found abundantly in all living cells and it is structurally related to DNA. So chain of RNA must have undergone mutations, replications and catalytic reactions to form the definite structure of DNA. Here we can say that some of the biomolecules like acetyl-CoA, they have a nucleotide in their molecular structure. See, this is the example of having genetic material, that is nucleotide, in the molecular structure. That means this is the major evidence for the proof of ribozymes or ribosomes. Okay. Now here when we study about transcription and translation, we know that ribosomes are very important in the process of protein synthesis. Okay, so translation process is catalyzed by RNA. We know that. Okay, so this hypothesis shows us that RNA must be the first nucleic acid molecule which have undergone repeated replication and mutation to form variety of RNAs. Okay, and through these varieties of RNA, some of the catalytic properties may have arisen. Okay, and such a catalytic activities leading eventually for the development of protein coats, okay, or double-stranded DNA structure. That means first RNA get formed, RNA get replicated, undergone mutation, and due to replication and mutation, there may be the formation of double-stranded DNA, which we are saying it to be our basic genotype. Okay, or one stream we can say with the another way, it may have its own protein code for the survival. Okay, so continued this formation of DNA might have been continued the ongoing journey which have resulted in rich biodiversity on the earth. Okay, so this RNA world hypothesis suggests us that there is the formation of RNA first. RNA might have undergone mutation and repeated replication to form its own copies like DNA. Okay, so here we have completed the topic about, yes, Urey-Miller's experimental proof as well as RNA world formation. In the next lecture, I will explain you about Charles Darwin's theory of origin and evolution, the famous theory known as organic evolution. We will discuss it later.